You are listening to the Self-Trust Solution Podcast with Dawn Leday, episode number 18. Welcome back. Today, let's talk about the judgment of others. This episode is good for anyone who asks, what are they going to think, or what are people going to say before making a decision, and maybe even let your own responses to those questions keep you from moving forward. We're going to talk about where these questions of judgment come from, why we let them get in the way, what these questions have to do with self-trust, and how you can answer them and move forward with them. Want to know where you land on the self-trust scale? Visit me at theselftrustcoach.com and take the free self-trust quiz. Now let's dive in. So my clients often come to me with something they want to do in their business and careers, but they're worried about what other people are going to think and say. It's a natural response to change, to doing something new or in a new way. It makes total sense. It's actually part of what is called the motivational triad, where our brains seek pleasure, avoid pain, and fights to stay safe by being efficient and conserving energy. Many experts would offer that when you're concerned with others' judgment of your choices and decisions, this also is an act of the motivational triad, because in the caveman days, it was actually unsafe to be separated from others. And this, of course, could be true even now. For sure, there are extreme circumstances where your decision could actually have repercussions that affect yours or others' safety. But that's not what we're talking about here today. It's not what my clients and many of us, including myself, are experiencing. Instead, what we are experiencing is an answer to self-doubt that is then fueled by letting the motivational triad take over and tell you it's so much better to not rock the boat or set yourself apart. And it offers everything really is fine the way it is. Yes. And while the motivational triad is alive and well in us, there is another part of our brain that thirsts for growth and change and development. But why we let them get in the way is because we're only listening to the one-sided argument of the motivational triad to stay safe, to stay the same, to stay comfortable. And in that case, those questions just get louder. I always tell my clients that when you let those questions surface without answering them, they go and grab friends and collect evidence. You are brilliant, my friends. Your brains are brilliant, and they love nothing more than to be right, even if being right doesn't serve you. Have you ever noticed being in an argument and you start to see the other person's perspective, their point of view? Or maybe you realize there's more to it than you thought. Or maybe you just realize you actually are wrong in this argument, and yet you keep arguing for your point. That is what is happening in your brain when all you give it is one direction of thinking. It's going to continue to produce evidence to show you that you're right. You should be concerned about this. So what these questions have to do with self-trust, and what do they have to do with worrying about what other people think, is first, the truth is that more times than not, our fear thoughts of what others will think or projections of what we ourselves are thinking. For instance, if someone tells me I have a terrible singing voice and they want to tell a lot of people about it, I'm more likely to agree than to be upset, because I too believe that I have a terrible singing voice, at least in public. I will say in the shower, and when I'm in the car alone, I sound awesome. But if I'm going to do a TED Talk and I have fear thoughts that say I'm going to bomb or nobody wants to hear what I have to say, I'm more likely to listen to my brain offering me that others are going to think or say that I'm crazy or that I'm stupid. So, what can we do? We can answer our own questions. We can give what my mentor, Brooke Castillo, calls equal airtime. It's giving your brilliant brain something new to prove right, and it will. So, how do we do this? And the truth is, we're just going to look at both sides of the argument. We want to make a discussion. What are you believing they are going to think or say? What else could they think? What else could be true? In what ways are you believing those things about yourself? And what else could be true? We want to look at not just the worst case scenario, we can really look at what's the best case scenario. And there's this huge, beautiful spectrum in between that of all these other options that could happen. But your brain is focusing on maybe the worst. So, what else could be true? What is the best case scenario that you aren't giving time and space to? What are those options in between that you aren't giving your brain an option to explore? And is that worth the possibility of someone thinking the worst? In my client's case, and often in my own, we can find that the fear of one or a few others believing the worst is actually worth the bigger picture of what we will accomplish and those we will help through the process in what the best case scenario could be, or the beautiful in between, the and that could happen in between all of that. So, what will you take away from today's episode? My goal is for you to recognize where these questions are coming from and answer them for yourself without judgment. What am I telling myself they will think or say about me? Who are they? Who will they say it to? And why is it a problem if they think or say it? What am I going to make that mean about myself? In what ways am I thinking and saying those things to myself about me? How are they true? How are they not true? And what else could be true? And then you can ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I'd be okay either way? And then make a decision based on who you want to be and how you want to show up, not how you're afraid of what others will think about who you want to be and how you want to show up. Be that belief in yourself, and others will follow. I love this quote from Cynthia Kersey. She says, believe in yourself, and there will come a day when others will have no choice but to believe in you. I would add that the more you allow yourself to believe in yourself and what you want to accomplish, the less you will care about the few who don't, and the more you will strive to serve those that do. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. This helps me reach new people, continue to create content, and brings me joy in my mission to serve. People will judge you in ways you love and in ways you don't, and in ways you never will notice. Don't let it run the conversation in your head and direct your actions. Decide what you want to believe about yourself and make your decisions from that place. Join us next week for episode number 19. Thanks for tuning in and have a self-trust filled week. And if you're ready to unlock your self-trust fueled success, join me at theselftrustcoach.com to take the free self-trust quiz. The self-trust quiz will help you identify the areas that may be holding you back and pinpoint where in the achievement process you can use a little extra TLC. Take the free self-trust quiz at theselftrustcoach.com. See you inside.